Imagine for a moment that you have within you the power to attract anything you desire, effortlessly. You don't have to work harder, hustle more, or wait for some grand opportunity to fall into your lap. Instead, all you need to do is speak. Yes, the simple act of speaking, not merely words, but words imbued with deep meaning, with a sense of certainty and feeling. The words you speak, when spoken with true conviction and imagination, are the seeds that create the reality you wish to experience. Think about it. Every time you speak, you are broadcasting an inner belief to the world around you. Words are more than just sounds. They are expressions of your consciousness. They are the instruments through which you shape your world. In fact, the world around you is nothing more than the reflection of your inner speech, the thoughts, feelings, and assumptions that you hold within. This is why it is so crucial to understand the immense power that lies in the words you speak. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed how you can think about something you want and then begin to talk about it, whether you're talking to yourself or others? Those words often seem to grow in intensity, in conviction. The more you repeat them, the more real they become. The act of speaking helps you align your inner world with your outer experience. Now let us delve deeper into how this works. Every time you speak words that are aligned with your desires, whether it's wealth, health, love, or success, you are sending a clear signal to the universe. Think of it as broadcasting a frequency. The universe, or life itself, responds to that frequency. It aligns itself with the energy of those words, and events, people, and circumstances begin to reflect the nature of your inner speech. However, there's a catch. For words to truly work in your favor, they must be spoken with a deep sense of belief, with inner certainty. This is not the same as simply repeating words mechanically or mindlessly. The key lies in how you feel when you speak them. Feeling is the secret. It's not enough to say, "I am wealthy," with no emotional charge behind it. You must say those words as if they are already true, with the same certainty and power as if you had already received what you desire. When you speak these words, your imagination is at work. Your imagination is the creative force behind everything that happens in your life. It is through your imagination that you create mental images of your desires. These images are the blueprints of the life you wish to live. And when you speak your words with imagination, you give those words the life they need to manifest in your reality. Imagine that you are a painter with a blank canvas. The words you speak are the brushstrokes, and your imagination is the vibrant paint that fills the canvas. Your reality, the world you experience, is shaped by the images and words you create. This is why it is so essential to speak only words that align with the life you wish to live. If you constantly speak words of lack, words of limitation, you are shaping a world of scarcity and struggle. But if you speak words of abundance, words of success, and words of joy, you are painting a canvas of prosperity and fulfillment. The law of attraction is not some mystical abstract concept. It is a natural law that governs the universe, and it responds to your words and feelings. This is why it's not enough to simply hope or wish for things to change. You must declare your desires into existence. You must speak them with the belief that they are already yours, and feel the excitement of living in the reality of your desire right now. Words are the tools through which you command the universe. When you say, "I am wealthy," you are not asking for wealth, you are assuming the state of wealth. You are assuming that the very thing you desire is already yours, and by doing so you shift your inner state to match that assumption. The outer world, in turn, must conform to the inner state you have chosen. This is the magic of words, spoken with feeling and conviction. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that you must struggle, work tirelessly, and suffer in order to achieve your desires. But this is a false belief. Success is not a result of endless striving. It is the result of aligning your inner state with the life you wish to experience. When you speak words of abundance, health, love, or success, you are simply aligning your inner state with what you want the outer world to reflect. It's that simple. Let me share an example with you. Imagine you have a goal to attract financial abundance. You begin by saying to yourself, "Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. I am rich and wealth is drawn to me." At first, these words may feel strange, unfamiliar, or even hard to believe. But as you continue to speak them, and more importantly, as you continue to feel the truth of those words, something begins to shift. You start to feel differently. Your inner state begins to align with your desires. As your inner state shifts, you begin to see opportunities you had not noticed before. You find yourself thinking differently, acting differently, and even meeting new people who can help you on your path to financial success. This is not a coincidence. This is the power of words spoken with belief, imagination, and feeling. You are creating your reality with every word you speak, and the universe is responding to that creation. The key, then, is to speak with the full conviction that what you desire is already yours. Don't wait for the outer world to change first. Change your inner world through the words you speak, and the outer world will follow. It is the law. It cannot fail. The words you speak with faith, with imagination, and with feeling must manifest into your life. So let your words be powerful. Let them be aligned with the life you desire. Speak as though your desires have already been fulfilled, and watch as the world shifts to reflect your inner reality. The power is in your hands, and it's all within the words you speak. There is a deep and undeniable connection between your inner assumptions and the outer circumstances that you experience. When you look at your life and the situations around you, you are seeing the reflection of what you assume to be true about yourself and the world. This is the most powerful understanding you could ever come to, because it reveals that the key to changing your life lies not in the external world, but within you. The assumptions you make about yourself and the world around you are what ultimately shape your experiences. Take a moment to reflect on the simple yet profound reality. Everything that you see, everything that you experience, began with an assumption. Whether consciously or unconsciously, you have been assuming certain things about yourself, about life, about others, and about your circumstances. And because life has no choice but to reflect your assumptions, you have created the life you are living right now. But here's the empowering truth. If you can change your assumptions, you can change your world. Imagine for a moment that you are walking through life with a powerful tool in your hand, and that tool is your assumption. Every time you assume something to be true, it becomes your reality. It's like planting a seed in the fertile soil of your mind. Your assumptions about who you are and what you deserve are the seeds, and life itself is the soil that brings them to fruition. Now think about the power of assuming something to be true before you see evidence of it in your life. This is the part where most people struggle. They wait for the external world to show them the evidence before they will allow themselves to believe. They think, "I believe I'm wealthy when the money shows up. I believe I'm loved when someone expresses love toward me." But here is where the real magic lies. You must believe it first. You must assume that the thing you desire is already yours, long before the world confirms it. What happens when you start assuming the feelings of success, wealth, health, or happiness? You begin to feel as though it is already true. You no longer wait for the evidence in the physical world to tell you that it's possible. You no longer need to see it to believe it. You believe it first, and then the world, the people around you, and the events in your life shift to reflect that assumption. This is the fundamental law of creation. The outer world cannot help but respond to the inner assumptions you hold. The power of assumption is not a passive thing. It is active, dynamic, and requires you to take full responsibility for your life. You must consciously choose what you assume to be true about yourself and your life. It's about understanding that you are not at the mercy of the world's circumstances. You are the creator, the one who decides what will be. If you want to experience abundance, health, or success, the first step is to assume that it is already yours. You do not need to wait for evidence to appear. You begin by assuming it in your mind, and then the world will unfold to confirm your assumption. This process is not about wishful thinking. It's not about hoping that something will come into your life someday. It's about living, in the end, as though your desire has already been fulfilled. The key is to not focus on how it will come or when it will come, but to simply live in the state of your desire fulfilled right now. When you start living as though you already have what you want, your inner state begins to shift. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs align with the assumption that your desire is already here. And when that happens, the universe has no choice but to respond. It must. It is the law of assumption. Let me give you a simple analogy to illustrate this process. Think about a gardener planting a seed. The gardener doesn't plant a seed and then constantly dig it up to check if it has sprouted. The gardener simply trusts that the seed, once planted, will grow into the plant or flower it was meant to be. And so it is with your assumptions. Once you plant the seed of your desire in your mind, you must trust that it will grow into your reality. Do not dig it up with doubt or fear. Do not question it. Simply trust that it is done. Let's consider a specific example. Suppose you want to attract more wealth into your life. The first step is to assume that you are already wealthy. You must feel the truth of it in your mind and body. Imagine the feelings of joy, peace, and freedom that come with being wealthy. Feel the ease, the comfort, the confidence. This is not about fantasizing. This is about living as though it is already true. Once you assume the state of wealth, you will begin to notice changes in your thoughts, actions, and circumstances. You may find new opportunities opening up for you. You may start to notice different ways of thinking about money. Ideas will come to you. People will enter your life who are in alignment with your new assumption. And gradually the world around you will begin to shift to reflect the assumption that you have made. It is important to realize that your assumption is not dependent on your external circumstances. The outer world does not have to change first for you to change. Your assumption can change first, and then the world will reflect that change. It is always the inner state that comes first. The external world must conform to the inner assumptions that you hold. What you assume to be true about yourself, your abilities, and your world is what you will experience. If you assume that you are always successful, always abundant, always loved, then you will experience success, abundance, and love. The world around you will conform to your inner assumptions. On the other hand, if you assume that life is hard, that you can never get ahead, that love is out of reach, then that will be your reality. You are always living in the world of your own assumptions. This is why it is so crucial to examine the assumptions you hold about yourself and your life. Are you assuming success? Are you assuming love? Are you assuming health and abundance? If not, you have the power to change those assumptions. The moment you begin to assume a new reality, the moment you begin to live as though your desires are already fulfilled, the world will begin to reflect that assumption. It cannot do otherwise. The power is in your hands. You are the creator of your own life, and your assumptions are the key. Assume the life you desire, and the world will reflect it back to you. What most people fail to realize is that the outer world is nothing more than a reflection of their inner world. Everything you see around you, from your financial circumstances to the relationships you experience, is a mirror of the assumptions, beliefs, and mental images that you hold within your mind. The world outside you does not happen by chance. It does not unfold randomly. It responds to what you think and feel. The way to change your outer circumstances, to manifest your desires, is not by waiting for the world to change first, but by changing your inner state. What you assume, what you feel, and what you imagine is what you will experience. This is a simple but profound truth. It's easy to overlook because we're conditioned to believe that the world around us is fixed, that we must react to external circumstances as they are. But in reality, the external world is simply a projection of our inner state. Your thoughts, your feelings, and the images you hold in your mind determine what you experience. When you change these inner states, the outer world must respond. For example, if you are constantly worried about your financial situation, if you are always thinking about lack and scarcity, then that is exactly what you will continue to experience. The external world will reflect those thoughts and feelings back to you. But if you start imagining abundance, if you start seeing yourself as wealthy, if you begin to feel what it would be like to have everything you desire, the external world must shift to reflect those new inner assumptions. The key to unlocking the life you want lies in imagination. Imagination is the creative power that shapes your world. It is not some fantastical ability reserved for daydreamers or dreamers alone. Imagination is the power you use to create your reality. Everything that exists in the world, everything you have experienced, was first imagined by someone, somewhere. The houses we live in, the cars we drive, the technology we use, they all began as mental images, ideas, and assumptions in the minds of those who created them. You too can create your reality by using the power of imagination. The difference is, many people don't realize that they are constantly imagining. They imagine all sorts of things. What they are afraid of, what could go wrong, what they don't want. But they are not using their imagination to create the things they actually desire. If you want to change your life, you must learn to consciously direct your imagination toward the things you want to experience. Take a moment to think about a specific desire that you have. Whether it's wealth, health, a loving relationship, or a successful career, ask yourself, what does that desire look like to me? Imagine it vividly. Picture it in your mind's eye. See yourself living that reality as if it were happening right now. Feel what it would feel like to have it. If you want to be wealthy, don't wait until you have the money to feel wealthy. Feel wealthy now. Imagine the comfort, the security, the freedom. Imagine the joy, the excitement, the possibilities that come with financial abundance. The more vividly you imagine, the more real it will become. Imagination is not just a mental exercise. It is a creative power. It is the power by which the invisible becomes visible. When you imagine something vividly and with emotion, you are impressing that image onto your subconscious mind. The subconscious does not know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. Once you plant an image in your subconscious, it starts working to bring it into your reality. The subconscious mind will begin to guide you, to inspire you, to direct you to the people, circumstances, and opportunities that will help you manifest your desire. But imagination alone is not enough. You must also feel that what you desire is already yours. You must embody the feeling of your desire as if it is already a fact. Feeling is the key that unlocks the door to manifestation. When you feel the reality of your desire, you send a powerful signal to the universe. That signal is one of certainty, one of belief, and one of alignment with your desired outcome. The more real the feeling, the more powerful the manifestation will be. Many people struggle with this because they try to manifest from a place of need or lack. They imagine something, but their feeling is not one of abundance. Their feeling is one of desperation, as if they are waiting for something to happen. This is not the way to manifest. Instead, you must feel as if it has already happened. You must feel as if you are already living in the reality of your desire. When you can fully embody the feeling of having what you want, you are aligning yourself with the reality in which that desire exists, and the universe must respond to that alignment. This is where most people go wrong. They want to see the evidence before they believe. They want the money, the love, the success to show up before they believe they deserve it, before they believe it's possible. But this is the exact opposite of how manifestation works. You must believe first, and the evidence will follow. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and live in that state until it becomes your reality. If you want to attract financial abundance, for instance, you must start living as if you already have it. Feel the security and freedom that wealth provides. Feel the excitement and joy of knowing that you can have anything you desire. When you assume this state, when you live in the feeling of your desire already fulfilled, the universe begins to rearrange itself to bring that desire into your physical reality. It is the law of assumption. The universe can only respond to your inner state. If you live in the feeling of lack, the universe will give you more of that. But if you live in the feeling of abundance, the universe will respond with abundance. The world is not happening to you, the world is happening through you. Your inner state, your imagination, your assumptions, and your feelings create your external reality. You are not a passive observer of life. You are the creator of your own experience. Once you realize this, once you embrace the power of imagination and feeling, you will begin to see dramatic shifts in your life. Your desires will begin to manifest, your circumstances will change, and you will start to experience the life you have always dreamed of. The only limit to what you can create is your own imagination and belief. The world is yours to shape, and it all begins with the images you hold in your mind and the feelings you cultivate in your heart. There is a power within you, a creative force that lies dormant, waiting to be tapped into. This power is not something that is reserved for the few or the fortunate. It is available to everyone. It is the power to speak your desires into existence. The words you speak are not just sounds. They are the building blocks of your reality. What you speak with feeling and belief must manifest in your life. Think about the words you say to yourself every day. How often do you speak words of doubt, fear, and limitation? These words, spoken over and over again, create a reality of scarcity, struggle, and lack. But what if, instead of speaking words of limitation, you spoke words of possibility, of success, and of abundance? What if you began to speak as though the very thing you desire is already yours, right now? The key to unlocking the power of words is not just in their repetition, but in their feeling. It's not enough to say, "I am wealthy," without truly feeling the truth of those words. The universe does not respond to words alone. It responds to the energy, the emotion, the belief behind those words. If you want to experience something in your life, you must speak it into existence, with the full knowing that it is already true. The feeling you attach to your words is what brings them to life. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in front of a mirror. In the reflection, you see the person you wish to become, the person who is already living the life you desire, the person who has wealth, success, love, or health. Now, instead of simply wishing for these things, you speak as though they are already true. You say, "I am wealthy. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. I am successful in everything I do." As you speak these words, feel the truth of them deep within you. See yourself as the person who already has everything you desire. This is the power of living in the end, and it's the key to unlocking the desires you have. When you speak these words with deep feeling, you are not simply wishing or hoping. You are declaring your reality into existence. You are aligning your inner world with the outer world. The universe is constantly responding to the energy you put out. And when you speak with belief and feeling, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. But it's not just about speaking words of abundance and success. It's about speaking with conviction, with the certainty that what you are speaking is already yours. If you want to be wealthy, you must feel the wealth as you speak. If you want to be healthy, you must speak the words of health with the feeling that you are already living in that state. When you speak from this place of certainty, you align your mind, body, and emotions with the reality you desire, and the world must reflect that alignment. Now, this is where most people go wrong. They speak the words of desire, but they do so with doubt, with the underlying belief that they are somehow unworthy of what they are asking for, or that their desires are too big to be realized. But doubt is the enemy of manifestation. It is not enough to speak the words if you are not fully aligned with them. If you speak from a place of doubt, you are sending a mixed message to the universe. You are asking for abundance while simultaneously believing that abundance is not possible for you. And the universe will always respond to your dominant state of being, not to your desires alone. The key is to speak from a place of certainty. You must be fully convinced that what you are speaking is already true. If you want money to flow into your life, speak the words, "I am wealthy," with a full understanding that wealth is already your reality. Do not wait for the evidence to appear first. Speak as if the evidence has already shown up. The universe responds to this state of conviction and will bring the circumstances, opportunities, and people into your life that will align with your words. This principle applies not just to financial abundance, but to every area of life. If you want to improve your health, speak the words, "I am healthy and vibrant," with the full feeling of health. Feel what it would be like to be in perfect health, to have boundless energy, to be free from illness. Speak it as though it is already your present reality, and the body will begin to conform to your spoken words. Similarly, if you desire a loving relationship, speak the words of love and affection, and feel the warmth of those emotions in your heart. Speak from a place of gratitude and joy, as though the perfect partner is already in your life, and the universe will begin to bring that person into your experience. But the key to all of this is feeling. Words spoken without feeling are like seeds planted in barren soil. They will not grow. The feeling is what nourishes those seeds and causes them to sprout. When you speak with deep emotion, you are sending a powerful signal to the universe. You are telling it, "This is my reality now. I already have what I desire." And the universe, which is constantly responding to your inner state, will bring your words to life. The law of attraction is not about begging or hoping for what you want. It's about speaking with certainty, with conviction, and with feeling as though your desires are already fulfilled. Your words, spoken from this place of inner knowing, have the power to create your reality. You are the creator of your life, and your words are the building blocks of that creation. This process requires practice and patience. It requires that you consistently speak your desires as though they are already true. It requires that you maintain the feeling of certainty and alignment, even in the face of doubt or opposition. But the more you speak with belief, the more you feel the truth of your words, the more the world will begin to reflect that truth back to you. The universe must yield to the power of your words. So, from this moment forward, begin to speak your desires into existence. Speak the words of abundance, success, love, health, and happiness. Speak them with feeling, speak them with certainty, and speak them with the deep knowing that your words have the power to shape your world. The more you speak with conviction, the more your reality will begin to change, and the world will respond to the powerful force of your spoken words. It is often said that we must live in the end of our desires. But what does that truly mean? It means that instead of focusing on the gap between where you are and where you want to be, You must focus your energy on the feeling of already having your desire fulfilled. It requires you to shift your mindset from one of striving and lack to one of fulfillment and satisfaction. The key to manifesting anything into your life lies in your ability to embody the feeling of already having what you desire. In the physical world, everything is governed by laws, but the most important law you must understand is the law of assumption. The law of assumption states that whatever you assume to be true, whether it's about yourself, others, or life itself, will be reflected back to you. If you assume you are wealthy, healthy, loved, and successful, the world must reflect those assumptions. However, this can only happen when you adopt the feeling of already having it, rather than constantly thinking about the gap between what you want and what you currently have. Imagine for a moment that you are living in the world of your desire. If you want financial abundance, picture yourself living with financial freedom right now. Imagine yourself waking up in the morning, feeling the sense of security and peace that comes with being financially free. Imagine walking into your home, driving your dream car, or simply experiencing life without the stress of financial worry. This is not a fantasy. This is the practice of living in the end. By imagining yourself already in the state of your desire, you create an inner experience that must eventually be reflected in the outer world. This shift in perception is crucial. Many people make the mistake of focusing on the lack of what they desire rather than the feeling of having it. They look at their current bank account, their current health, or their current circumstances and assume that those circumstances define their potential. But the truth is, your circumstances are nothing but a reflection of past thoughts, past assumptions, and past beliefs. The future is not bound by the past. Your future is shaped by the assumptions you make today, and you have the power to change those assumptions at any moment. Living in the end requires that you begin to think, feel, and act as though your desire has already been fulfilled. This does not mean that you ignore the current reality, but rather that you choose to shift your focus away from what is lacking and onto what is possible. You must adopt the mindset of abundance, health, love, or success, and then live from that mindset in all aspects of your life. When you begin to live in the end, you stop waiting for the world to change in order to make you feel better. You begin to change your internal world first. You realize that you do not need to see the evidence of your desire in the physical world before you begin to feel it. In fact, the evidence follows the feeling. If you want to experience something, you must begin by feeling it first. This is how the creative process works. Feel the feeling of your desire being fulfilled, and the universe will rearrange itself to match that internal state. Living in the end also involves acting as if your desire is already a reality. You do not need to wait for the external circumstances to change before you take action. You can start acting in alignment with the reality you wish to experience, even if the evidence hasn't yet appeared. If you desire financial freedom, for example, start managing your money like someone who already has it. Make decisions from a place of abundance, not from a place of lack. If you desire love, begin to express love and kindness, not waiting for another person to show you love first. The more you act as if it is already true, the more the world will mirror that assumption. This principle also applies to personal growth. If you are trying to change your life or grow into a new version of yourself, it's important to remember that growth comes from within. If you want to be a more confident person, do not wait for external validation. Assume you are already confident and act from that assumption. You are not waiting for circumstances to make you confident. You are choosing to be confident now. By embodying the feeling of confidence, the world will respond accordingly. When you live in the end, you are not only imagining your desires coming to fruition, but also fully embracing the feeling of already having them. The key is not to focus on the path from your current circumstances to your goal, but instead to focus on the feeling of being already there. This feeling acts as a magnet, drawing to you the circumstances, people, and opportunities that will bring your desires to fruition. The law of attraction works in this way. It is not a magical process where things simply appear out of nowhere. It is a natural law that responds to your internal state. When you align your internal state with the reality you want, the universe has no choice but to reflect that alignment back to you. Living in the end also requires a sense of detachment. This does not mean that you stop caring about your desires. Rather, it means that you trust the process and have faith that what you desire is already on its way to you. When you live in the end, you stop trying to figure out how your desires will come to you. The universe will handle the details. Your job is to stay in the feeling of having it, to trust that it is already done, and to act as though it is already a part of your reality. By doing so, you release any attachment to the outcome, knowing that the outcome is already secured. The beauty of living in the end is that it allows you to bypass the struggle, the frustration, and the doubt that often accompany the pursuit of goals. It gives you a sense of peace, knowing that you are not waiting for something to happen. Instead, you are living in the fulfillment of your desires right now. When you embody this mindset, you free yourself from the need for external validation. You are no longer waiting for the world to tell you that you are successful, wealthy, or loved. You know it already, and that certainty will guide you toward the manifestation of your desires. Ultimately, living in the end is about embracing the present moment as the point of creation. It's about knowing that the future is already here in seed form, and that everything you desire is already a part of your experience. By living in the end, you allow yourself to step into the life you've always wanted, not at some distant point in the future, but right now. And when you do this, you will begin to see the world around you shift and reflect back to you the reality that you have already chosen to live in. It is common to believe that what we see around us is the only reality. We are conditioned to believe that our physical circumstances are fixed, unchangeable, and often beyond our control. We are told that the world is simply the way it is, and that we must learn to adapt to it, to work within its constraints. However, this perception is limiting. In truth, the world you experience is a reflection of your inner state, your beliefs, and your assumptions. The reality that you live in is not an objective truth. It is a result of your mental and emotional states. This is why the key to changing your circumstances lies not in trying to control the external world, but in transforming your inner world. The first step in this transformation is to understand that you are not at the mercy of the world around you. You are not a passive participant in your life. You are the creator of your reality, and everything that happens in your life is a direct result of your beliefs and assumptions about the world and yourself. This is the foundation of creating change, to realize that you have the power to shape your world by changing your assumptions. Assumptions are powerful. They are the lenses through which you view the world, and they determine how you interpret and interact with everything around you. If you assume that the world is a place of scarcity, struggle, and limitation, that is what you will experience. If you assume that life is abundant, full of opportunities, and ready to give you everything you desire, that is what you will experience. Your assumptions create your perception of reality, and that perception then governs the way you respond to the world. The critical element here is understanding that you are always making assumptions, whether you are consciously aware of them or not. You are constantly thinking thoughts, making mental images, and holding beliefs about who you are, what you deserve, and what is possible for you. These assumptions are shaping your life, often without you even realizing it. The moment you become aware of the power of your assumptions, you can begin to consciously choose the ones that align with the life you want to create. You can begin to assume that you are worthy of all the abundance, success, and love you desire, and that assumption will begin to shape your reality. However, simply deciding to believe in abundance or success is not enough. The true power of your assumptions comes when you feel them as true. It is not enough to intellectually understand that your assumptions create your reality. You must feel the truth of those assumptions in your body, in your emotions, and in your energy. Feel as though the desire is already fulfilled, as though it has already manifested in your life. When you feel the reality of your assumption, you align your inner world with the outer world, and that alignment creates the conditions for manifestation. For example, let's say you want to manifest financial abundance. Instead of focusing on your current financial situation or the lack of money in your life, you shift your assumption to one of wealth. Begin to assume that you are already wealthy. Imagine yourself living a life of abundance. Picture yourself waking up in a beautiful home, enjoying the freedom that comes with financial security, and using your wealth to enrich your life and the lives of others. As you imagine this, feel the excitement, the gratitude, and the joy that comes with having what you desire. By focusing on this feeling of abundance, you are training your subconscious mind to believe that wealth is your natural state. You are no longer seeing yourself as someone who is struggling or lacking. You are seeing yourself as someone who is already wealthy, and this assumption begins to shape your reality. Your external circumstances will begin to shift to match this new inner state. Opportunities for financial growth will appear. People will enter your life who can help you achieve your goals, and your confidence in your ability to create wealth will increase. The same principle applies to any area of life. Whether you want to improve your health, attract love, or achieve success in your career, the process is the same. The first step is to identify the assumptions you are currently holding about that area of your life. Are you assuming that you are always going to be sick, that love is elusive, or that success is for others but not for you? If so, these assumptions are limiting your ability to manifest your desires. The key is to replace these limiting assumptions with empowering ones. Assume that you are already healthy, already loved, already successful. Feel the truth of these assumptions in your body and in your emotions. Imagine yourself already living the life you desire and embody the feeling of having what you want. The more you can sustain these feelings and assumptions, the more your external reality will begin to shift to reflect them. One of the greatest challenges in this process is dealing with doubt. It's natural to question whether your assumptions are valid, especially when your external circumstances don't seem to support them. However, doubt is a powerful force that can block the manifestation process. The key to overcoming doubt is to persist in your assumptions, even in the face of contradictory evidence. The more you assume that your desire is already fulfilled, the more your subconscious mind will begin to accept that assumption as truth, and your external reality will eventually reflect it. The law of assumption works by impressing your subconscious mind with the belief that something is true, even before it appears in the physical world. Your subconscious mind is a creative force that works tirelessly to bring your assumptions to life. If you continue to assume that you are wealthy, healthy, loved, and successful, your subconscious mind will begin to bring the circumstances, opportunities, and people into your life that align with these assumptions. It is the law of correspondence. What is within must be reflected without. This is why it's so important to manage your assumptions and beliefs. If you are constantly assuming the worst, expecting failure, and doubting your worth, you are attracting more of the same into your life. But if you consciously choose to assume the best, to assume that everything you desire is already yours, your world will begin to reflect those assumptions. Your job is to become aware of the assumptions you are making and to choose the ones that empower you. The power of assumption is available to everyone. It doesn't matter what your current circumstances are. You can begin to change your life by changing your assumptions. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your reality. Your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions shape the world around you. Change your assumptions and you change your life. This is the most empowering realization you can have. When you truly understand that you are the creator of your own reality, you become free to shape your world in any way you desire. The power is always within you. You just need to choose the assumptions that align with the life you want to create. It is often said that you are what you think, and indeed this statement holds a profound truth. The thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, and the assumptions you carry are not just abstract concepts. They are the very foundation of the life you experience. Every moment of your life is shaped by the thoughts that dominate your mind, and the reality you live in is a direct reflection of those inner thoughts. This is why it is critical to understand the power of your inner dialogue and how your thoughts are constantly shaping and creating the circumstances around you. We live in a world where we are constantly bombarded with external stimuli, what we see, hear, and experience daily. However, it is important to remember that these external events do not control us. Rather, it is our internal response to them that determines how we experience them. The world is not as it appears on the surface. It is filtered through the lens of your beliefs and thoughts. What you focus on, what you think about the most, grows in your life. The thoughts that occupy your mind are like seeds being planted in the fertile ground of your subconscious. And just as seeds grow into plants, your thoughts grow into realities. Your thoughts are creative forces, and they constantly shape your experience. If you want to change your life, you must first change your thoughts. It is not enough to merely wish for something or hope that your circumstances will improve. You must begin with the mind, for the mind is the key to unlocking everything else. Change your thoughts, and you change your life. This is not about thinking positive thoughts just for the sake of it. It is about aligning your thinking with the reality you desire. The key to manifestation is not simply about saying affirmations or visualizing your goals. It is about transforming your inner world so that it matches the reality you want to see. You must change your mental and emotional states to match the state of your desire. If you want to be wealthy, for example, you must think, feel, and act like a wealthy person even before the physical manifestation of wealth appears in your life. Wealth is not just about money. It is about a mindset, a way of thinking and living that aligns with abundance. The same principle applies to health, love, success, or anything else you wish to manifest in your life. You must adopt the mindset of someone who is already living the life you want. This is not a superficial exercise in pretending or faking it. This is about aligning your thoughts with the truth of your desires. When your thoughts are in harmony with your desires, they become powerful magnets, attracting the circumstances, opportunities, and people that will bring those desires into your reality. It is important to understand that your mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. The subconscious mind accepts whatever you tell it, whether that information is based on fact or fiction. If you repeatedly think thoughts of lack, limitation, and fear, your subconscious mind will accept these as truth, and your external reality will reflect these assumptions. On the other hand, if you begin to think thoughts of abundance, success, and well-being, your subconscious will accept these new beliefs, and your reality will begin to shift accordingly. The key to creating lasting change in your life is to habitually think thoughts that align with your desires. This means that you must train your mind to focus on the end result, the fulfilled desire, rather than the current circumstances or limitations. If you are focused on the lack of money, you will continue to experience lack. If you focus on the absence of love, you will continue to experience loneliness. But if you focus on the presence of wealth, love, health, or success, your reality must begin to reflect those thoughts. You are what you think, and what you think is what you create. This process requires consistent effort and practice. It is not enough to think positively for a few moments and then go back to old patterns of thinking. You must consciously choose your thoughts at all times. When negative thoughts or doubts arise, you must immediately replace them with thoughts that support the reality you want to create. This does not mean ignoring or suppressing negative emotions. Rather, it means redirecting your focus back to the thoughts that align with your desires. If fear or doubt arises, acknowledge it, but then replace it with thoughts of confidence, abundance, or peace. The more you practice thinking in alignment with your desires, the easier it becomes. Your mind will begin to naturally gravitate toward thoughts that reflect the reality you are creating. This is how new habits are formed, by repeating new thoughts until they become ingrained in your subconscious mind. Once these thoughts become habitual, they will begin to shape your behavior and ultimately your reality. It is also important to recognize that your thoughts are not just abstract concepts. They are energetic vibrations. Every thought carries with it a certain energy or frequency, and it is this frequency that influences the events and circumstances that unfold in your life. When you think thoughts of abundance, you are emitting a frequency that resonates with abundance. Similarly, when you think thoughts of scarcity or fear, you are emitting a frequency that attracts more of the same. The universe operates on these energetic frequencies, responding to the vibration you are sending out. This is why it is so important to monitor your thoughts and consciously choose those that resonate with the life you wish to create. This shift in thinking also involves a shift in identity. If you want to manifest a new reality, you must first become the person who embodies that reality. The thoughts you think must reflect the person you are becoming, not just the person you currently are. If you want to be wealthy, think thoughts that reflect the mindset of a wealthy person. If you want to be healthy, think thoughts that reflect the mindset of a healthy person. The more you align your thoughts with the identity of the person you want to be, the more your external reality will begin to reflect that new identity. Your thoughts are your most powerful tool for creating change in your life. The thoughts you think today are shaping your future. If you want to create a life of abundance, success, and happiness, you must begin by changing the way you think. This is not a one-time exercise, but a lifelong practice. Every thought you think is shaping your reality, so choose your thoughts wisely. By consciously aligning your thinking with the reality you desire, you become the creator of your own experience. The world will respond to your inner state, reflecting back to you the reality you are constantly creating with your thoughts. Your thoughts are the blueprint for your life. Choose them with intention and watch as your world transforms accordingly. The law of attraction is a concept that many people have heard of, but few truly understand its depth and its power. The principle behind the law of attraction is simple. Like what you focus on, you draw into your life. This is not just about positive thinking or wishing for things to magically appear. It is about understanding that your thoughts, emotions, and energy are constantly interacting with the world around you, creating the conditions for your desires to manifest. The law of attraction is not some mystical force outside of you. It is a natural law, one that governs the relationship between your inner world and the outer reality you experience. At its core, the law of attraction is about alignment. It is about aligning your inner world, your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings with the reality you wish to create. This is not a passive process. It requires conscious intention, focus, and effort. The energy you emit through your thoughts and emotions will draw to you experiences, people, and opportunities that match that energy. If you are emitting the energy of fear, lack, and limitation, your reality will reflect those feelings. But if you are emitting the energy of abundance, confidence, and success, your reality will also reflect those higher vibrational states. One of the most powerful aspects of the law of attraction is that it works regardless of whether or not you consciously recognize it. Your thoughts and beliefs are constantly shaping your reality, even when you're not fully aware of it. This is why it's crucial to be mindful of the thoughts you entertain. Every thought you think carries with it a vibrational frequency that attracts experiences of the same frequency. If you consistently think thoughts of scarcity, struggle, and doubt, you are sending out a signal to the universe that says, "I am in a state of lack." And because the law of attraction operates by matching your energy with experiences of the same energy, you will continue to attract circumstances that reflect this sense of lack. The first step in consciously using the law of attraction is to become aware of the energy you are emitting. Take a moment to check in with your thoughts and emotions. What are you focusing on most of the time? Are you focused on what you want, or are you focused on what you don't want? Are you thinking about abundance, health, and happiness, or are you worrying about your finances, your relationships, or your health? Your focus is your energy. If you focus on the positive aspects of your life, you will draw more positivity into your experience. But if you focus on the negative, you will continue to attract more negativity. This is why it's essential to practice being intentional with your focus. You must choose to direct your thoughts toward your desires rather than toward your fears or limitations. It's not enough to merely wish for something or hope that it will come to you. The law of attraction requires a higher level of engagement. It requires you to embody the energy of your desires as though they are already true. When you focus on what you want rather than what you lack, you begin to shift your vibration to match the frequency of abundance, success, and fulfillment. Imagine, for a moment, that you are already living the life you desire. Picture yourself waking up in the morning, feeling the excitement and gratitude for the life you've created. What would it feel like to already have everything you want? How would you walk, talk, and interact with others if you were living in your ideal reality? This is the energy you need to embody. You must live in the feeling of already having your desires fulfilled. The key is to feel as though your desires are already true, to feel the joy, excitement, and peace that would come from living your dream life. When you begin to align your inner world with the reality you want to create, the law of attraction will begin to work in your favor. You will start to notice synchronicities, opportunities, and people entering your life who are in alignment with your desires. This is not coincidence. This is the law of attraction at work. Your inner state, your energy, is the magnet that draws these experiences to you. But the law of attraction is not just about receiving what you want. It's also about releasing what no longer serves you. If you are holding on to negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, or past experiences that do not align with your desired reality, you must let them go. You must clear the energetic space for the new to enter. Releasing these old patterns requires a shift in perception. Instead of focusing on what is missing in your life, focus on what is already present. Practice gratitude for the things you already have. When you focus on the positive aspects of your life, you are raising your vibration and sending out a signal to the universe that you are open and ready to receive more of what you want. Gratitude is a powerful tool because it shifts your focus away from lack and onto abundance. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more you attract things to be grateful for. As you begin to embody the energy of your desires, you will also notice that your actions begin to change. When you are aligned with the energy of abundance, success, or love, your actions will naturally reflect that alignment. You will find yourself making decisions, taking steps, and seizing opportunities that bring you closer to your desired reality. The law of attraction is not just about passive wishing, It is about active participation. It is about aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your desires. When you do this, you will naturally be guided toward the people, places, and circumstances that will help you manifest your goals. This process also requires patience and faith. The law of attraction does not always deliver results on your timeline. Sometimes it may take time for your energy to shift and for the physical evidence of your desires to appear. But trust that the universe is always working on your behalf. If you continue to focus on your desires, align your energy with those desires, and take inspired action, the results will come. Ultimately, the law of attraction is about understanding that you are not a passive observer in your life. You are the creator of your reality. What you focus on grows. The thoughts, emotions, and energy you put out into the world will attract experiences that match that, and therefore, to manifest the life you desire, you must align your inner world with the reality you wish to experience. This is how the law of attraction works. By matching your energy with the energy of your desires, you create the circumstances that will bring them into your life. It is not magic. It is simply the natural law of attraction, a law that governs the way energy flows and manifests in the world. In conclusion, the power to shape and transform your life is within your hands. The reality you experience is not a random occurrence, nor is it dictated by external forces beyond your control. Rather, it is a direct reflection of your inner thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. When you understand the profound connection between your internal world and your external experiences, you realize that you hold the keys to creating the life you desire. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, and every assumption you make sends out a frequency that attracts experiences and circumstances aligned with that energy. The law of attraction is a natural force that works continuously, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. By aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you wish to manifest, you begin to create the conditions for your desires to come to fruition. Remember, it is not enough to merely wish for change. True transformation comes when you consistently choose thoughts that support your desires. Feel the truth of those desires in your body, and act in ways that align with the reality you want to experience. It is a process that requires patience, persistence, and faith, but with unwavering belief and intentional focus, you can begin to shift your world from the inside out. You are not a passive participant in your life. You are the creator of your reality. By mastering your inner world, you unlock the power to manifest anything you desire. The universe responds to your energy and to the vibration you emit. As you continue to transform your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions, your external circumstances will inevitably shift to match the energy you are projecting. The law of attraction is always at work, and it is always responding to you. The truth is simple. Your thoughts create your reality. You have the power to choose your thoughts, to change your beliefs, and to transform your life. By practicing conscious awareness of your inner world and aligning it with the desires you wish to manifest, you can create the abundant, fulfilling life you've always dreamed of. The power is within you, and the time to start is now.